This is Christine.
This is Jessie.
And we are the hosts of the podcast Dark Mysteries.
Please come join us every Monday for
some crazy true crime,
some spooky paranormal,
and of course it wouldn't be complete without some weird and creepy.
You can find us on Spotify.
Of course on Patreon.
As well as Amazon and many others.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Welcome to Ouch. Was that a ghost? This podcast may contain graphic material, which some listeners may find disturbing. Listener discretion is advised.
Help me.
Now that we covered that, here's your host, Liss.
Ouch, was that a ghost with Liss?
And Mike, here with high energy today, bringing the pain.
Mike's gonna pass out anytime.
I've had a couple busy nights. I did the other day for one of my birthdays. We did obviously my 60th, as my sister told everyone. But
You're welcome.
I got a smoker, so I smoked meat. What else do you do with a smoker, right?
Right.
So I got up at like 3 a.m. and started the briskets and did ribs along the day and burnt ends and a bunch of different stuff. It was delicious. But I was up late because everyone was over till like 1 a.m. And then I had to go to work the next day. And then last night I went and played poker at my buddy's house till like 1 a.m. So I'm literally running on no sleep. And here I am. Let's do this. Exciting. What's been going on with you? Other than eat, how was the meat? Did you eat everything or no?
I tried your burnt ends, which were fantastic, and I tried the what do you call them? Shotgun shells.
Yeah, the shotgun shells.
Those were really good, and I got there late, so
bomb.
Fresh. They must have been way better, but they were
so
delicious.
Good. Yeah, both of those were the big hits. Those are the easy ones too, which were I could do those in like 2 seconds. But they basically the shotgun shells are just heart attacks waiting to happen. It's hamburger wrapped in pasta, wrapped in bacon with sauce on it. So it's like
It's Americans living up to their stereotype.
It is.
But good stuff. I had something to say and I forgot.
Oh, was it about a Patreon? Was it about merch?
No,
was it
I
about...
forget what I was even going to say.
Oh, was it about like Rainbow Bright or?
It's always about Rainbow Bright.
Purple Pie Man? I don't know. What's going on?
I think you should tell everybody what your name was at the murder mystery.
What? Michael Hunt. What's wrong with that?
Short version.
Oh, well, Mike, yeah.
Last name Hunt.
Yes. I mean, that was a pretty simple one.
That was awesome. And I love that you had everybody at our table thinking that you were the murderer.
I would have never even, I wasn't even acting like I was or anything. That's the funny part. I was just acting like myself. But maybe I'm just that odd that people think I'm like in place that I'm not in or something.
That was so fun, though.
But once they said it, I had to play into it. It's not like I'm going to let it go at that point.
And the weird thing was that they had a clue, like an anagram, and your hat matched up to it.
I know. That was the funny part about it all.
What are the chances of that?
It was pretty weird. Yeah.
Weird. I got made fun of the other day for saying it like that. Weird. That's how you say it, though. Weird.
Weird. You're supposed to say it with more of a pronouncing the syllables, the letters, I guess, instead of just being like weird. All
right. Well, this week I'm going to have, this one isn't that bad. It's more of a mystery.
What do you mean by that bad?
Because usually I give you the Torture Tuesdays or the gruesome or the yucky. This one's more of like it's tamer for you because I know you had a rough week.
Oh, I appreciate it. Thank you.
And getting up there in the age.
It's definitely gonna be something awful. But
no, it's really not. I know that you're 60 now, so you have to calm down a little bit.
Not 60. God.
So this is...
I'm younger than you. So if you want to be 61, keep saying it.
The disappearance of the Sodder children.
The what children?
The Sodder. That's their last name.
Oh, so like, all right.
It's a true crime.
Like Sodder? Sodder?
Yes, it's a possible true crime.
All right. Okay. So an unsolved crime is what you're saying.
It may be solved and it may not be. Okay. Some people think both ways. So.
All right. Well, I'll make my own determination on this.
Okay. I feel like every time Leah did that, she'd be like, aliens.
Mine's all governmental conspiracy, but I don't bring that part of me out in this podcast. So.
Keep it under wraps. I like it.
Keep it under wraps.
But this is the Sodder family and the disappearance of their 5 children. It's a tragic mystery that sadly the parents never got answers to. Web sleuths still theorize about what happened to the children to this day. The strange events leading up to... Let's shut off my volume. The strange events leading up to that fateful night left the Sodder parents spending the rest of their lives looking for answers. Dun dun.
Was that your CSI? Dun dun.
Is that Law and Order? Dun dun.
Is that what it is?
Yeah,
I don't watch those. So yeah.
You don't watch even SVU?
No, I don't watch. I've seen them. I'm not a TV guy. I'm just really not. I try, but unless it's like a miniseries like on Netflix or something along those lines, I can do it. But actually, you know what? We didn't even discuss this. They're coming out with a new Office season.
Oh, are they?
Yes.
With the same cast?
Yes, the same cast.
Get out of here.
Yeah.
That is amazing.
I've been seeing clips of it around that it's been happening. So,
and it's real because I feel like so many things I fall into and I'm like, it's real.
It's real. It's been on TikToks, and I think it's been.
If it's on TikTok,
it's been showing the cast.
It has to be real.
It has to be real. I mean, it's the way it is. But go ahead. I'm sorry, I interrupted you.
No, I was saying I watched the worst movie I've seen in a long time. It was Madam Web.
Oh, it's so bad. I saw it. It's so bad. It might be the worst Marvel movie that was ever made, honestly. It's just so bad.
I just saw it was like number 1 on Netflix, so I'm like, I'll just pop it on. That was hours I can't get back out of my life.
Yeah, it didn't even make sense. It was just awful. It really
wasn't. I don't get the ending either, how all of a sudden everything just changed. Like, boom.
Yeah.
But in the small town of Fayetteville, West Virginia, on December 24th, 1945, Christmas Eve, the Sodder family was fast asleep in their home. The family included George, his wife Jenny, and 9 of their 10 children, because one was away serving in the military.
Oh, it's crazy. 10 children?
I know.
Fucking bunny rabbits over there.
At about 1 a.m., a fire broke out in the house, and the parents, along with 4 of the children, managed to make it outside. Sylvia, their toddler that slept in the parents' room, 23-year-old John and 16-year-old George Jr., who those 2 shared an upstairs bedroom, managed to make it out with only singed hair, and their daughter Marion. George realized that 5 of his children were not with them, and they had to be inside, probably like cowering somewhere. There was Maurice, 14, Martha, 12, Louis, 9, Jenny, 8, Betty, 5, who they had their rooms upstairs in the house on either side of the stairs that were now engulfed in flames. So he went to try to get them to safety. He tried to go in the house, but like I said, the staircase was on fire, so he ran outside to get his ladder, where he always kept it, and it was gone. So he had the idea to drive up one of his coal trucks to the house and climb on top of that and try to climb in the window that way, but the truck wouldn't start, and then he tried his second coal truck, and that wouldn't start either, and both of the trucks worked fine the day before.
Very strange.
He went for rain barrels, but they were just blocks of ice. And all he could do was sit there and scream the kids' names.
Oh, that's not productive.
I'm like dying. I got to take my sweatshirt off. One sec, sorry. I was just cooking, so.
Oh, what'd you make?
Well, I was slicing steak to marinate it because I got this chili oil that I wanted to make like some kind of stir fry with later.
Yeah.
And I made white rice for them and chopped up all the vegetables now. So when I go up, I can just throw it all together.
Quick and easy, yeah.
But it was just all the prep right now and standing over the stove while I'm making rice. And I was just like sweating when I came down. Sorry.
Yeah, I was just talking to them about getting Chipotle because
I did it yesterday.
That's awesome. Walk coming at you.
Yeah.
So he's sitting out there screaming their names. Okay. Coal trucks aren't working. Ladder's gone.
And their daughter, Marion, the 17-year-old who made it out, ran to a neighbor's house to phone the Fayetteville Fire Department for help, but the operator didn't respond. Another neighbor tried to call the fire department as well, and again, no answer from the operator. So a neighbor drove into town and found the fire chief, F.J. Morris, and alerted him that the Sodders' house was on fire. He, in turn, started a phone tree system that they had because they had no alarms. So, like, if the fire chief was alerted, he'd have to call Fred, and Fred would have to call Charlie. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it would take the fire department until 8 a.m., 7 hours after the fire started, to respond, even though the Sodders' house was 2.5 miles away from the fire station.
That's crazy, yeah.
By the time they got there, the house had collapsed and was just a smoldering pile of ash on the remaining basement. Like, that was all that was left. The Sodders presumed their children had died in the fire.
Yeah, naturally.
The remnants were briefly searched on Christmas Day for the remains of the children, but nothing was found. The fire chief, F.J. Morris, theorized that the bodies were completely cremated by the fire, which could be plausible, but hard to believe that no remains were found whatsoever, not one bone, and nobody reported smelling burnt flesh.
Yeah, I get the not smelling burnt flesh because everything's burning, but that's weird that there's nothing remaining. That's crazy.
I just find that hard to believe out of 5 people, because think about, like, if you burn your hair, how pungent that is.
Yeah, but I mean, you got to understand that the whole house is burning down. It's not like you're gonna smell it.
Yeah,
it's not
that's
like.
true.
But to find no remains from 5 people, that just doesn't make sense. Yeah.
So the inspector from the state police ruled that the fire's cause was faulty wiring. In his grief, George bulldozed over the remaining basement with 5 feet of dirt to make a memorial for his children. Even with no physical evidence of their remains, death certificates were drawn up for the 5 children before the new year, December 30th. They cited fire or suffocation as the cause of death. As time passed, George and Jenny began to believe that the children had not perished in the fire, but in fact had been kidnapped, and that the fire may have been like a nefarious act to deflect their attention from it.
Cover up. Yeah.
Because there were a number of strange circumstances around the fire that raised these questions. A little about him. George Sodder was born in Tula, Sardinia, Italy in 1895. He immigrated to the United States in 1908 through Ellis Island when he was 13. He would never say why he left Italy, which left some to speculate. He settled in West Virginia with his wife, Jenny, and the couple had the 10 children. George's coal business was prosperous, and they were a well-respected family in the community.
All right. Little coal miner getting it on.
Yep. Spelunking? No, that's not spelunking.
Well, I mean, you kind of spelunk when you go down to the caves and coal mine.
Yeah. Remember that game, Spelunker?
Very similar.
That was so fun. Everything comes back to Nintendo.
That was like was that Atari or Nintendo? Was that
I
Nintendo?
thought it was Nintendo. I could be wrong.
It might have been. I forget. Spelunking. I remember the game. It was so awful.
Dig Dug.
There was a lot of awful games on those systems.
You mean awesome? You're pronouncing it wrong.
There were some awesome ones too, though.
The town they lived in had quite a few other Italian families, and George was very open about his disdain for Benito Mussolini. And this caused disagreements and may have made him some enemies, which is one theory to explain why his children were taken, if in fact that's what happened. When springtime came around, the site of the house, which was bulldozed over with the dirt, was filled with flowers that were planted, memorializing the missing children, and Jenny, the mother, cared for it until her death.
All right.
As evidence started to unfold, in 1946, the family started to believe that maybe the children were in fact alive and being held somewhere. In October, a few months before the fire, a life insurance salesman went to the Sodders' house trying to make a sale. When it was clear that George was not going to purchase life insurance, the salesman told George that, quote, his house would go up in smoke and your children are going to be destroyed. You're going to pay for the dirty remarks you've been making about Mussolini.
Oh, wow. That's pretty on the nose, huh?
Yep.
So they're just sending dirty insurance salesmen around.
Like, that's not how you make a sale.
I mean, when all else fails, you just threaten their life. Why wouldn't you do that?
That's so aggressive.
That's good for return business.
Buy these Encyclopedia Britannicas, or else.
And the weird thing is that salesman came back the next day and he's like, I told you should have bought the insurance.
Imagine. But George didn't really take the threat too serious at the time. Another time, a man stopped by the Sodder house looking for work. When George didn't hire him, the man warned George that the fuse boxes he had would, quote, cause a fire someday. And George, again, kind of brushed it off because it was all brand new wiring. He just had an electric stove put in. And the electric company came by to check all the electricity and everything seemed to work in order.
Georgie, you're in for a surprise.
Yet another strange occurrence was a few weeks before the fire, the older Sodder boys noticed a car they didn't recognize parked on the main highway, which was Highway 21, through the town. And the occupants of the car were watching their younger siblings walk home from school.
Yeah, that's creepy. So he's still nonchalant about all this. Guy threatens his kids and his life and his house to burn down. Someone else says his house is going to burn down just by coincidence. Now he's got people watching his kids. Yep. So awesome. And he's just like, yeah, whatever. Yeah. Nothing crazy yet happening.
Yeah, it was just all weird stuff. Even the night of the fire, at about 12:30 a.m., the family was asleep when the phone rang downstairs, and that woke up Jenny, the mom, who went and answered it. And the person on the line was an unfamiliar female voice, and she asked for a name that Jenny didn't recognize. She sounded like she was at a party, And when Jenny said it was a wrong number, the unknown female did a weird laugh before Jenny hung up.
I think Georgie was up to some nefarious stuff here. He was into the wrong crowds, without a doubt. He left the wife home with the 10 kids and went out and did his own thing, causing problems. Well, that's where I'm at right now.
You think it's all him?
Still formulating my theories, but that's where I'm at right now.
Jenny saw that the downstairs lights were still on when she went to answer the phone, and the front door was unlocked and the curtains were still open. So she closed the curtains, locked the door, and shut off the lights, just kind of annoyed that the older kids didn't do this before going to bed. And she saw her daughter Marion asleep on the couch, and she figured the rest of the kids were asleep in their room. So Jenny headed back to bed and just fell asleep when she heard a loud bang on the roof and then a rolling sound. And after listening for a few minutes and hearing nothing else, she fell back asleep. At about...
These people are just so nonchalant about everything, huh? They really just let things go.
Well, what would you do if you heard a bang on your roof and then a rolling?
I heard a bang downstairs one time, and I grabbed a baseball bat and ran down there in like 2 seconds. So I would investigate. I wouldn't just be like, oh, there was a huge bang on my roof. I'm just going to be cool with that. But I mean, these people seem to be cool with anything that happens. So.
And about 1 a.m., Jenny woke up again, this time to the smell of smoke, when she saw it was coming from George's office, where she just was answering the phone. John claims he yelled, one of the older boys claimed he yelled to his siblings, and he heard them yell back while they were on their way out. The fact that the ladder was moved from its normal spot, it was later found 75 feet away from where it usually was, at the bottom of an embankment. And the fact that George's coal trucks wouldn't start, even though they worked fine the day before, and the operator not answering, taking, 7 hours for the fire department to get there. And it was actually the chief later, the fire chief later said it took so long because he lacked manpower and he didn't know how to drive the fire truck.
Oh, God. That's good.
But like 7 hours to get 2.5 miles, like you could have walked there.
That's crazy. Yeah, that's insane. Yeah, there's so many coincidences. Sounds like a big conspiracy going on here.
Right?
I'm in. Let's go. What do we got? What other clues we got here?
Jenny, the mother, found it very strange that nothing was left of her 5 children, and she didn't accept what Chief Morris said, that the remains had been cremated in the rubble. Some appliances were actually still intact. They found like a toaster. Like, how could there be no remains of her kids at all? So she tried to recreate what happened to the bones by burning animal bones. And none completely turned to ashes every time she was left with like a pile of charred bones. She contacted a crematorium who told her that they burn bodies at 2,000 degrees Fahrenheit for 2 hours, and that still leaves remains. And their house was only on fire for about 45 minutes, and it didn't reach anywhere near that temperature.
Yeah. No, that's the weirdest spot to me, is there's no remains. It's still definitely something shady going on there.
And a telephone repairman later said that the family, that night they thought that their phone line had been burnt, but instead it was somebody, they had to climb a 14-foot pole and then reach 2 feet to cut the wire.
Interesting.
And if it was an electrical wiring issue that caused the fire, it's odd that the lights were working fine when Jenny went there right before everything burst into flames.
Mm-hmm.
A witness came forward claiming to see a man stealing a block and tackle. I didn't know what that was. I had to look that up. It's a system of 2 or more pulleys with a rope or a cable threaded between them, usually used to lift heavy loads. So it could be like used to pull an engine out.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. It's like, yeah.
Somebody stole one right by the property at the time of the fire, and he was actually arrested. He admitted to the theft, and he claimed he'd been the one that cut the phone line, thinking it was a power line, but denied having anything to do with the fire. But no record identifying the suspect exists. And why would he want to cut like utility lines to the Sodder house while stealing the block and tackle? It's never been explained.
Yeah, no, that's just a cover up of something, but yeah, that's weird.
That might have had something to do with why George's engines wouldn't start that night.
Oh yeah, definitely.
The fire that was originally thought to have been started by some electrical issues was determined to actually have been deliberately set. A bus driver that was driving by the Sodder's house
Right.
that night claims to have seen, quote, balls of fire being thrown at the house.
Hadouken.
I trying to be serious because it's such a tragic case.
Sonic boom.
But it's like you're a wizard, Harry, and it's just like all these fireballs.
You just get all these different thoughts of old fireballs just being tossed.
Like, how does somebody throw balls of fire at a house? How does that work?
I mean, you probably do it very carefully. I would imagine.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so one day while the family was visiting the site a few months after the fire and the snow had all melted, Sylvia, one of the children, found a hard, dark green rubber ball-like object in the nearby brush, which could have accounted for that loud bang and rolling sound off the roof before the fire.
Yeah.
George concluded that it was a pineapple bomb or some sort of incendiary device that was used in combat.
All right.
And the family later claimed that the fire was started on the roof.
So they're just chucking balls of fire on the roof.
And bombs.
And bombs, yes.
Their belief that their children were still alive fueled even more by reported sightings of the children. On the night of the fire, a woman claims to have seen the children looking out of a passing car while the house was still ablaze. Then there was a woman who operated a rest stop between Fayetteville and Charleston, about 50 miles west, who said she served the children breakfast the morning after the fire. She also said that there was a car with Florida license plates in the rest stop parking lot.
Very interesting.
There was a woman named Ida Crutchfield who ran a hotel in Charleston, West Virginia, who claimed she saw the children about a week after the fire. She said, quote, "The children were accompanied by 2 women and 2 men, all of Italian extraction. She said, I don't remember the exact date. However, the entire party did register at the hotel, stayed in a large room with several beds. They registered at about midnight, and I tried to talk to the children in a friendly manner, but the men appeared hostile and refused to allow me to talk to these children.
Jerks."
One of the men looked at me in a hostile manner, and he turned around and began talking rapidly in Italian. Immediately, the whole party stopped talking to me. I sensed that I was being frozen out, and I said nothing more, and they left early the next morning.
So, do you think Mussolini stole the kids for himself?
But in 1947, George reached out to the FBI for help in what he called a kidnapping. Director J. Edgar Hoover wrote back that, quote, "Although I would like to be of service, the matter related appears to be of local character and does not come within the investigative jurisdiction of this bureau." He also said he could send agents if the Fayetteville Police and Fire Department were on board, but both the fire department and the police department declined the offer.
Shady motherfuckers. What's going on?
Right?
Yeah, 100%. Cover-ups happening left and right.
Then the Sodders hired a private investigator named C.C. Tinsley. That sounds like a private investigator.
Oh, good old CC.
He sounds hard-boiled.
Good old case-cracking Tinsley.
That's what it stands for.
Yeah, of course it does.
And when he looked into the case, he uncovered that same life insurance salesman that threatened George to burn down his house, he was on the coroner's jury that ruled that the fire was an accident.
Oh, shocker. He's a dirty person playing roles. Yeah.
He also learned that F.J. Morris, the fire chief, had found remains at the site and not told anybody about it. He claims that a heart was found at the scene and was placed inside of a metal box, and that the fire chief buried it at the site at the Sodder's house. F.J. Morris, the fire chief, supposedly confessed this to a minister, and George confirmed this with the minister, and then George and, case-cracking Tinsley went to the went to the fire chief, and the fire chief agreed to show them where he buried the box. They dug up the box and brought its contents to the local funeral director, who, after examining it, told them that it was a fresh beef liver and it had never been exposed to fire.
Not the best cover-up in the world, but we'll work with it.
So rumors circled around town, this is going to be a shocker, that Morris had admitted that the liver had not come from the fire.
Oh, fucking whispers in the back alleys in the bars.
But C.C. Tinsley will get to the bottom of it.
The big talk of town is this fake liver.
And he said that he put it there hoping that the Sodders would find it and assume his children had perished in the fire and stop the investigation. Which, okay, if they found it and that was his plan, wouldn't that raise so many more questions?
Oh, I mean, that sounds like the worst plan ever conceived to cover up a crime in the world. I'm going to put a fake liver and bury it, and that's going to ease the parent's mind. Yep, you got it.
And then they'll stop it all. In 1949, George saw a picture in a magazine of a group of young ballet dancers in New York City, one he believed to be his daughter Betty. He went to Manhattan to the school and repeatedly was turned away by the school, and the children's parents wouldn't speak to George. In 1949, George reached out to a pathologist named Oscar B. Hunter from Washington to conduct a better search of the soil. In the thorough search, they found some vertebrae bones, and those were sent to the Smithsonian Institute, who concluded, quote, "The bones consist of 4 lumbar vertebrae belonging to one individual. Since the transverse recesses are fused, the age of this individual at death should have been around 16 or 17 years old. The top limit of age should be about 22, since the centra, which normally fuse at 23, are still unfused.
Okay.
On this basis, the bones show greater skeletal maturation than one would expect for a 14-year-old boy, which was the oldest missing Sodder child. So it is, however, possible, although not probable, for a boy 14 and a half years old to show 16 to 17-year-old maturation. But he also said that these bones were never exposed to flames. And it was odd that in such a short fire that should have left nearly intact skeletons of the children, no bones were found.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And he theorized that the bones may have come from the dirt that George brought in to bulldoze the site, that he got the dirt from a cemetery.
Oh, that's smart.
And then they just gave the bones back to George. They were like, here you go.
They're probably not your kids, but, here's some bones for you. Then that night at the local bar, hey, you hear George got some bones?
And C.C. Tinsley is in the corner with his notepad.
Good old crease cracking Tinsley.
Yeah.
Crease.
The case garnered national attention, and in 1950, the West Virginia legislature held a hearing on the case. After the hearing, the governor and state police superintendent told the Sodders that the case was, quote, hopeless, and closed it.
Oh.
That's so fucked up.
It is.
But the family wasn't going to give up, so they erected a billboard at the site of the fire that would stay there for nearly 40 years. Was visible to anybody driving down Route 16 near Fayetteville, West Virginia. It included the missing children's pictures, their ages, a synopsis of what the family thought happened. And they started printing out flyers with pictures of the children and offered a reward for information. They offered a $5,000 reward for information to the children, and it soon doubled to $10,000.
Wow.
I'm trying to go quick because I know you're tired.
No, it's all right.
The family got leads, and George would go and check on them in person. They received a letter from a woman in Missouri that claimed Martha, one of the daughters, was held in a convent. Someone claims to have overheard people having an incriminating conversation about a fire in West Virginia on Christmas Eve years before, but none of these leads went anywhere. George even heard that one of his wife's relatives in Florida had children that looked like his, so he went and made them prove that they were their children.
Oh, gosh. God crazy at this point.
Well, you lose 5 kids, you're going to lose your mind.
Their minds are gone. Yeah, without a doubt.
There was another one in 1967 from Houston. A woman wrote a letter to the family and claimed that one night Lewis drank too much and told her his true identity, and that she thought Lewis and Maurice, these were both 2 of the boys, were in fact living in Texas. So George and Grover Paxton, who was his son-in-law, went to talk to her in person. They tracked down the 2 men thought to be his children, and they denied being the children, but George always wondered if this was true for the rest of his life. In 1967, Jenny, the mom, received a letter addressed only to her. This was 20 years after the fire, and it was postmarked Central City, Kentucky, with no return address. Inside was a photo of a man in his 20s that strongly resembled Lewis, her missing son, who would be in his 20s now. On the back of the picture was written Lewis Sodder, I love brother Frankie, who was another one of the brothers. And then it says Little Boys, LLIL, boys. And then it has numbers and letters A90132 or 35.
That's weird.
The numbers have never been figured out. And they had a lot of similarities. They both had dark curly hair, dark brown eyes. They had the same straight nose.
Yeah,
the same
so it's either
eyebrow.
them or someone's fucking with them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But this new piece of hope ignited the family to hire a private investigator to go to Central City. Isn't that like
was it CC?
No, it was another one. CC's still in the other case. Isn't Central City from like Batman or something?
No, that's Gotham. I don't know what Central City is.
I thought it was a superhero thing.
But I mean, CC going to Central City, that's just a lot of C's.
Yes, that's too much.
Case cracking at Central City. Let's go.
So the new private investigator that went to Central City was never heard from again.
Just disappeared.
Which he could have met a bad fate, or he could have just ran with their money. You know what I mean? That's, to me, it's a 50-50, so I don't know.
Without a doubt. Could have just met a woman in Central City and said, screw this. I'm going to start my life. And it turned out to be their daughter, which is the craziest part about it.
They added the new picture that they believed to be Lewis to the billboard, but they didn't include any of the writing that he put in there, just in case that he was being held and he'd get in trouble if he was being held captive. The family framed the picture and put it over their fireplace, but that was like it. George told the Charleston Gazette-Mail the next year that with no information, it felt like they were hitting a rock wall, but he wasn't giving up. In another interview, he said, time's running out, but we only want to know if they did die in the fire. We want to be convinced. Otherwise, we want to know what happened.
Yeah.
George passed away in 1969, never finding closure. Jenny and her children, with the exception of John, who just wanted to move on, kept on searching for answers. Jenny wore black mourning clothing for the rest of her lives and tended the memorial garden for her lost children.
Jesus.
She died in 1989, which is so recent, and the billboard was taken down by the family. The remaining children and grandchildren continued to try to keep the case going and investigate any leads that they found. One of the biggest theories that residents and the family had was that the Sicilian mafia had either tried to extort money from George or had him join, and maybe his children were taken to Italy to keep them safe by somebody else, and they never contacted the family to keep them safe, but I don't know.
Yeah, there was definitely some shady business going on there with George. 100%. He was involved in something.
Right? It doesn't make sense.
To some extent.
Like the whole thing, it doesn't make sense. Like I can see one or two odd things, but he just had so many strange things happen around.
Yeah, and obviously not nice people hanging around him. And someone threatens his family and stuff, and that's not really a big deal to him. He just moves on. So it's like he was in shady shit going on. Normally, those old coal miners were all into the shady shit. You never know. Yeah. They get the black lung pop.
Oh my gosh, I love that movie. In 2021, Sylvia Sodder Paxton, who was the youngest surviving Sodder child, died. She recalled to the Gazette-Mail in 2013 her earliest memory being, quote, I was the last one of the children to leave home, and she talked about how her and her father would stay up at night talking about what might have happened. And she never thought that her siblings died in the fire. She kept pushing for answers and tried to keep the case alive. Her daughter in 2006 said, quote, she promised my grandparents she wouldn't let the story die, and she would do everything she could. Maurice, Martha, Louis, Jenny, and Betty's parents and siblings all died never knowing what happened to them. It remains a cold case to this day, and with the witnesses no longer around to talk to and no physical evidence, unfortunately, the case most likely will stay that way.
Oh, boy.
Your theory is just George shady?
Well, I mean, obviously, I don't think they obviously weren't burned in the fire. There would have been remains. So there was a kidnapping involved or some sort of something happened there. But I'd look into George. George got some ties that he's not talking about.
He wouldn't talk about anything why he left Italy.
Yeah, that's what I mean. He's just he left with some bad business.
I just can't believe the fire chief. You can't drive a truck.
Oh,
you pack beef liver.
Well, he is what the fire chief probably was dealing with. They were probably going to the station and to the police like every day, just hounding them for months and months. And he's probably like, finally, fuck it. I'm just going to bury a liver and try to get them off my back. Which, yeah, I mean, that's shady to do, but it's...
Yeah, but that's it. It's not...
That's crazy, though. I mean, that's...
Tis an odd story.
Just have 5 kids just disappear.
I know, and I would go insane, like, with no closure whatsoever.
No, I don't blame them for doing anything after that. At that point, when you lose 5 kids, there's no holds barred at that point. You're doing whatever you can to survive.
Mm-hmm. Well, thanks for coming on. I'll let you go to sleep. I know you look exhausted. You look like you're fading
thanks
fast.
For having me. Yeah, I'm beat, but...
All right. Well, happy 60th.
Thank you. I hope you turn 61 this year. Congratulations. Bye.
Thank you for listening. If you need more content or just want to help support the podcast, head on over to patreon.com and search Ouch, Was That a Ghost? If you need some schnazzy merch, you can find it at crowdmade.com by searching Ouch, Was That a Ghost? If you have a story you'd like to share, you can email it to ouchwasthataghost@yahoo.com. You can also find us on Facebook and all the other social media platforms under Ouch, Was That a Ghost?
Help me.
All links can also be found on ouchwasthataghost.com.